Today you get to say I told you so.
Today, I don't want to. But I did bloody tell you.
Holy Halloween!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
This town needs an enema.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Who's afraid of the big black bat?
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
This is your liberation.
My mother warned me about getting into cars with strange men.
This isn't a car.
20 years in Gotham. How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way? He has the power to wipe out the entire human race.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
He's a silent guardian. A watchful protector. In the dark night.
I'm Batman.
Let the games begin.
Welcome to the Batman on Film podcast. Here are your hosts, Bill, Jett, Ramey, and Rick Shew.
Hey now, welcome to the Batman on Film podcast. Batman on Film is the sponsor as well as a very proud member of the Batman Podcast Network. Check out all the great shows at batmanpodcastnetwork.com. And to advertise on this podcast, go to advertisecast.com/the Batman on Film podcast. Or just go to the website and you'll hit the link. I am your host, and I'm also the founder of Batman on Film, Bill, Jett, Ramey, who has been under the weather for the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to let these guys talk more than me, and these guys would be my co-host, Rick Shew.
Hey.
Hey, Rick. And the great BOF Roundtablers. I couldn't do this show without them because it's been a great year. Anyway, I'm going to keep going on and on. Justin Kowalski and Ryan Haas. And as always, Batman on Film is authoritative, definitive, and original. Right? Okay, here we go.
Right.
All right.
All in favor?
All right. Hey now.
Hey, Bill,
now.
Bill,
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
say one thing before we get started. It's 8:17 p.m., Grandpa. You're usually in bed by now, aren't you?
I would be in bed. I do get up at 4 to work out, but I made a special exception to do this podcast tonight because we have something to talk about, y'all. And
what's that?
all right, Justin, what are we going to talk about today, man? Go ahead.
First off, I'm super disappointed for many reasons because, A, my wife got in and out and didn't get me any. And second, this whole Ben Affleck news has me – I'm kind of beside myself as a Batman fan, as all of us are actually.
Yeah.
We're Batman fans right here on Batman on Film. We love Batman.
We are Batman
fans
on Batman on Film, yes.
We love DC Comics.
The most complex and interesting fictional character ever created.
Yes.
Ever.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to say something crazy off the bat. Can I say something crazy?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you know who's responsible for all of this mess?
Who's that?
I really feel like there's a percentage. I'm serious, but at the same time, I feel like I feel like it's the fans' fault for freaking badgering this poor man for a year and a half.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good topic. We'll get into that. Let me set it up. Yesterday, it was announced via a press release that Ben Affleck is not going to direct his solo Batman film, which apparently is called The Batman. And let me read his the press statement that Warner Brothers sent out. It says, "There are certain characters who hold a special place in the hearts of millions. Performing this role demands focus, passion, and the very best performance I can give. It has become clear that I cannot do both jobs to the level they require. Together with the studio, I have decided to find a partner and a director who will collaborate with me on this massive film. I am still in this, and we are making it, but we are currently looking for a director. I remain extremely committed to this project, and I look forward to bringing this to life for fans around the world. So, let me tell you what. When that broke yesterday, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was butthurt. I know I talk about a lot of people butthurt about stuff because Ben Affleck has been my number one choice to take over, not Batman, the role of Batman, but the director. Yeah. Since Chris Nolan was still directing Batman, and if you've been listening to the show, and you three know, I've been championing him forever and really supported this film, and so I am upset. I'm disappointed. I guess not upset's not the word to use, but I'm very disappointed because you're taking away one of the how I want to say it, the hooks for this film. One of the things that makes it great is you're getting a director of his caliber to helm the movie, and now that's gone. So yeah, it's disappointing. So all right, so let's just spin around the table. What do y'all think? Rick, I'm gonna let you start because you're old. Go ahead.
Because I'm old?
Yes.
I'm old.
Yes.
I'm old.
I'm still older than you. Go ahead.
Anyway, I'm so old, Moses called and said, you owe me money. Anybody? We got a drum roll there. So, look, here's the deal. Okay, so how do I start this? Because I don't want this to sound self-serving, because I have said on Twitter and I've said on Facebook, and I have been vocal about this, that I don't like that so far we collectively and then individually, we've had our own certain thoughts. And I have said all along that what concerns me about Affleck's future with this project moving forward, or projects, but the Batman specifically, the solo film, is that I just feel like that I can crawl inside his head a little bit, and I can make a very educated speculation that all of this negativity with these films is wearing on him, and that if it continues, he's not going to continue playing this part, because this isn't about notoriety for him. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about living out some childhood fantasy. This is about a person who's so passionate about this creative process, who's so passionate about this character, Bruce Wayne Batman, and wants to make a film that transcends through time. He wants to make a Dark Knight. And if the universe that he's stuck with are these films that are an absolute shit show mess with critics and, quite frankly, with most viewers as well, I just see him. I've been afraid that he may jump ship. So here we are. Suicide Squad had its reviews, and we all know the outcome of that film. So now we're 3 films into this. Wonder Woman's around the corner. Hopefully that's great. It looks great. I'm optimistic. We'll see. But then there's Justice League. Here's my fear. All right. I think he knows, and I'm going to say this. I hope I'm wrong, and I will be so glad if I am wrong. You don't have to be. I told you so.
Yeah,
right.
Just I want to.
This is your. Because what I'm about to say is going to piss people off.
Well, no, but it's speculation, but it's very much your opinion. Go ahead, man. Because I want to hear it.
It's educated speculation.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So
that's what we do here. We do educated speculation here, and on Batman on film.
Yeah, right. Anyway, we don't need to get into what all that means. That's our business. But what I will say is this: is that I feel as though that he knows that Justice League sucks. I'm just going to be blunt. I think he knows it. I think that I think the writing is on the wall that this is not what he signed up for. Not only not to carry the weight of this whole franchise on his back, or this whole universe on his back, because that's now the position he's in. He's the guy. It's like, save us, Ben Affleck. You're our only hope, right? And he doesn't. It's like, you can sign up for this. I signed up to be a badass Batman in an already badass universe, and right now there's not a badass universe.
Yeah.
And I am afraid that this may be, this meaning November when Justice League comes out, may very well be the last time we see Ben Affleck in that costume, regardless of that lovely quote, because that lovely quote really only means one thing to me. It's just PR for 2 multi-million-dollar films that are on the horizon this year that are coming out. There's no way he can say something else other than that to save.
He's still wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Still wrapped.
There's no way in hell they're going to throw any kind of damper on Wonder Woman in Justice League. And it would be a huge damper if it was announced he wasn't going to do it at all. You know.
If I'll say this and I'll stop talking. I mean, at least for this question, if Justice League has the same sort of lackluster response that Suicide Squad had, that BVS had, and really even Man of Steel had, he's out. He's done. And I'm as sure as that as I am. You know, I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now. If that film is piss poor reviews, he's out.
All right, Ryan, go ahead. What do you think, man?
Well, just to kind of lighten things up for half a second, I'm not doing so good because I was really excited to do our Catwoman podcast this time, and then this happened, and we have to talk about it again. So there's that. I'd almost rather be talking about Catwoman right now. Let's just say that.
Yes.
Yeah. So on the comment threads on your article, Bill, on BOF, Joey Parati had a kind of a good succinct comment. He said that Affleck could be the best Batman, but he's the best Batman in the worst universe. And how is that a good thing? And I kind of agree with him. I think that kind of sums up the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I do like Affleck's comment. It's very well thought out, but it can be viewed as PR. But you can also read into it as an aid to his creative process. If he's still making the Batman, for him to want to play the role the best that he can, maybe he needs to step back and just do that. If you look at Live by Night, a lot of the criticisms of that film was that he spent too much time directing it and overseeing that movie, and his own performance suffered from it. And that was one of the things that was called out in a lot of the reviews. So if that is influencing this at all, he could be looking at it that way from a creative process standpoint. But you could also see this, which is what we've kind of been talking about. You could see this as this move of him not being director and starring in it could be seen as this is the least he has to do before he can jump ship, as a contractually obligated thing that he has to do to be Batman. Because Live by Night, I believe, lost Warner Brothers about $75 million in revenue, I think. So maybe that's I don't know if that's part of it or what. I mean, but looking at, and we've said this for weeks too, when we heard the initial news that it was going to be pushed back. I mean, thinking about Affleck's career over 2016, you know, Warner Brothers threw him on stage at Comic-Con and said he's directing Batman with everybody else. Affleck himself would put out production videos with, like, you know, Deathstroke kind of and making us excited about a film and confirming that he directed on countless articles back and forth, of course. And then, of course, the Kimmel thing where he said, yes, he was going to direct it. And then you add in the endless cycle of the press, keep on asking him questions and fans and freaking out every time something happens. But then, of course, all that is ancillary to him as a filmmaker and artist, and him being very busy with BVS and having that be a critical failure, Live by Night having that be a critical and financial failure, which was very unexpected. All that kind of bubbles into a thing where it's like maybe he's not really in the best place to be he's launching into this feet first. You know,
he's had a shitty year professionally and personally, and I like the guy and I feel for him. So Justin, I mean, you've been very passionate about this. So I mean, you bummed out? Were you bummed out when you heard the news? What were your thoughts, man?
Yeah, when the text came in yesterday, I was like, it was, you know, it was a blow. It sucks. I mean, usually this type of stuff doesn't bug me. Like, I know, like, just speaking out of turn on some of the Marvel stuff they did, you know, when Ant-Man went from a different director to a different director, I didn't care. I wasn't emotionally attached to it. I was like, okay, well, director's a director. But the thing with Affleck, you know, he's caliber, and this is, okay, first off, don't spin this. No one spin this. Like, Ben Affleck not directing is bad. That's, like you were saying earlier, Bill, like, this is something Warner Brothers wanted. Like, it was almost going to be like, this was going to be like a pinnacle in their DC universe.
Yes, for it to be a Ben Affleck film. Yeah.
Well, why was Batman introduced into the DCEU? Was to be this new kind of linchpin for the whole universe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like you even said, you know what? Him directing was, to me, before he was announced as a cast, was something to look forward to. Before him being, I never thought he'd take the role of Batman, just with things that he said prior. You know, I'll never wear a superhero suit again, whatever, all that stuff. But him stepping out, it's just bad news. And, you know, I'm, again, being more of the cheerleader for the DCEU. Like, I'm looking forward to that. There's nothing good. It sucks. It's bad news. And the only way this is good is if they announce a director and Ben Affleck is still signed on to star in it and they film. That's the only thing that could be good. But right now, there's nothing good. Like,
all right, Rick, you've talked about that quite a bit, about Affleck directing and this and that. So, I mean, him leaving the director's seat, that's a big blow, right?
It's a huge blow.
Yeah.
It's a huge blow.
And I also want to add too, is the fact that these spin articles, or these, I wouldn't say spin articles, but there are some out there, but I guess I would say there's a segment of fandom saying, oh, this is a good thing. Everything's still okay. So what do you say to that, man?
Well, I think there's two schools of thought on that. There's the DC apologists, absolutists that are particularly in this Zack Snyder era of cinema, where they're taking everything so personal. So if you're bashing on these films, then you're actually bashing on these characters, like we've been accused of being. Like, we're not really Batman fans. We're
Stomp
just
on this
Nolan.
thing I love. Why don't you? Yeah.
Right, we're just Chris Nolan fans. But another school of thought, and we were bouncing back and forth with this on text messages yesterday between the four of us, is that there are some people that are legitimately upset about this. I think everybody's upset about this. Let me rephrase that. That have a legitimate reason to think that, hey, listen, I'm going to take Affleck at his word, and maybe this really is a great thing. And they're like trying to find that silver lining. Like, this is actually going to be okay. He's going to focus more on, the writing and the acting, and he wants to find a director. And you know what? I say bravo for him doing that, not getting over his head. Hey, and you know what? Maybe there's some truth to that. I would like to think that's the case, but I'm not. My problem is this: is that I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. But we talk to people. We have people we talk to. We read. We follow all this stuff. We know what's going on. And when all of our predictions, so to speak, have been accurate, and everything that has happened that we kind of said was going to happen is actually happening, it just, you wake up every day and the sun rises, and, you start to kind of get used to things. And right now I'm seeing this trajectory, and it's a very clear path to exactly everything that we've been talking about. And my personal biggest fears about all this, all I can hope for is that, look, I'll say it again, because I just said it a moment ago. To me, none of this matters at all. Whatever your prediction is, one way or the other, it's all contingent on Justice League, in my opinion. All of it.
Yeah.
That's it. If Justice League does great, gets great reviews, this is all a moot point. Affleck stars in a directed by, whoever.
Yeah.
And Rick, are you saying that's contingent on the fate of the Batman or the fate of the DCEU altogether?
Well, that's a good question, Ryan.
Yeah.
And here's, I guess the only way to answer that question is if I was to say it's just the Batman, then that would imply that they're going to stick with this universe and recast Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
So will that happen? Yeah, it's a possibility. I certainly wouldn't surprise. It would surprise me only because I feel as though that. Well, every time I start to say something that has like a rationale behind it, I just have to stop myself and say we're kind of on uncharted waters right now.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't feel safe.
Really
doesn't feel safe. But Justin, here's the thing: is that let's go back to 1997, Batman and Robin, and talking about the future of Batman and whatever. No one could have predicted Batman Begins and the Chris Nolan trilogy or whatever. But at the same time, here's one big, huge fundamental difference. in that time and now, trying to kind of predict, what will happen, and looking back on that and say, hey, there's always better days. But right now, they're invested in a lot of actors and productions and scripts, and with all these people that are interconnected. And Wonder Woman may do really well and work, and Justice League might suck. And I'm like, oh, what the hell do they do there? They don't want to get rid of her, right? Yeah. Well, then it is recasting Ben Affleck in the same universe, and then is anybody excited about that? Then all of a sudden, I don't know.
I have a thought, Rick.
Yeah.
So we've got next year we have Wonder Woman and we have Justice League, and we know that Aquaman is slated to come after that too. But when you think about what we've heard over the past few weeks, all the movies that we're getting after that are conspicuously not Justice League related. The Flash has been delayed, obviously. But what we've been hearing is a Gotham City Sirens, a Green Lantern, a Black Adam. Like, all of this traction on these other movies have been coming up in the news, and none of it's really no Superman. Like, why are we not hearing a Superman over a Black Adam? Wouldn't you think that? I mean, so it's all non-Justice League stuff that's coming anyway.
But don't you think Gotham City Sirens?
The Rock. That's why.
Yeah, but Gotham City Sirens wouldn't be in that category, though. That's
the Rock should be Batman.
Is that right? But when you say that, I mean, Ryan, that's an excellent point. I would just, the only pushback I have is, I don't know if it's fair to say that Gotham City Sirens is in that category. Yes or no? I mean, to me, that's part of this universe.
In what category? It is. I'm just saying, like, if Justice League is a failure, the next movies that come out or are supposed to come out can be made to not really focus on that sector of the universe, not with the core characters.
Yeah. I got you. Okay, yeah. I thought you were saying that they haven't in other words, Green Lantern and everything could just be basically a clean slate.
It sounds. It leaves them time to refocus Justice League stuff.
It sounds like they're going to lean on The Rock and Black Adam and Shazam on one part, and they're going to try to really go to a Batman universe, which we talked about before, with Gotham City Sirens and, hopefully a solo Batman film. But,
it sounds like, I was going to say, it sounds like, like these can be, because you mentioned before that Aquaman's going to be an Aquaman film, which is great, just as, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Aquaman's happening no matter what, with James
Wan. As those films, if they become successful, then maybe, this is a big maybe, but maybe then they do, okay, we'll do another Justice League if these work. If these work, then, bring them back together, but let their solo films be the solo films.
And I agree, Ryan. And I mean, I'm sorry, Justin, they're going to, I think they're moving toward these things being their own thing. And, they're kind of sort of in the same universe, but we're not going to shove it down your throat because, I could say a lot of stuff. I just can't right now on this podcast, but you guys know because I've told y'all, but you know what I'm saying. You know what's coming. So, I mean, it's just a bummer right now. I mean, going back to Affleck and stuff, it's going to rely on Wonder Woman and Justice League, like Rick said. So, I mean, talk away about that, guys, because it's there's a lot of 2007. This year, 2017 is an important year for this whole damn universe. Yeah.
See, okay, so I was talking to you guys about this before we started recording. So what I'm worried about is this news about the Batman just lingering out there without movement for a while. I'm worried that in press for Wonder Woman and Justice League, all that is going to happen is people are going to keep asking, not just Affleck, but all the stars, what's happening with the Batman? What's happening with the Batman?
Yeah.
And I don't want that negative, stuff kind of overruling what could be good movies. I don't want that to lessen their chances.
It'll be easier to deflect with Wonder Woman, which is coming up shortly. Yeah. But, by the time they get to Justice League in November, then it's going to be an issue because Affleck's got to do press for that. We may not see him. We may not see Ben, for the next 10 months or whatever it is until So, but then it's gonna, and I think they're gonna have to. It's gonna have to. they're going to have to be very careful of how they handle that. And, you know, I don't know what they're going to do because really I do think that it's all based on Justice League, if he does that film or not.
Yeah. That's my question, Bill. Okay, so let's say, you know, they get a director and, you know, Affleck signs up. He's like, hey, I'm starring, and they do this before November. Then we can assume, okay, he's going to be in the movie, whatever. What if between now and then he's just like, man, I'm not doing this? How do you promote a movie like Justice League without one of the main stars, like, you know, dropping out?
Yeah,
or I have.
Yeah, I don't think he'll. I think that he wants to still work with Warner Brothers as a director, so I don't think that'll happen. I just think they'll play the game until after the movie comes out, and then and you know.
So you think that he may? What I'm suggesting is, he stars in Batman. They start filming before November. You know, then he promotes, you know, Justice League because he's in that. Yeah. And then you think he steps out after that?
I don't think they're going to film Batman at all this year. At all. Okay. Period.
All
so
right.
I don't think it's going to be an issue. So I think it's all.
To that regard, here's what I'm thinking. So when Justice League started filming, we know that DC Films was formed, and Affleck himself was promoted to an executive producer with more than executive producer stuff. We're working on the script, working with Johns, working with Snyder, partly to inform what happens with his Batman for a movie that he would make. And we have the Deathstroke stuff, and we're like, well, it's Deathstroke in Justice League, so things happen in Justice League that lead into the Batman.
You know what?
Is that stuff too far along in Justice League to
I don't think
make
so.
the Batman or not? Or is it just
you know what? I
think they can cut that out?
I mean, to be frank, I think that was a major fuck up on Ben Affleck's part for even releasing that video, because it made it, you know, and then he's mad about, and I understand, dude. I understand it. Ben, if you're listening, I understand that you're out there promoting Live by Night and everyone wants to talk about Batman. I get it, dude. And it was frustrating. But, you know, he played a role in that by releasing that video. I don't know if that was a smart move, you know.
It's like Chris Nolan.
Who can anticipate that people are going to lose their minds?
Well, good God.
I don't know.
You know.
I know, but it's like
Justin, come on, man.
Well, I know. I'm just thinking, like, you know, because at that point he was probably excited about doing Batman.
But they lose they lose their shit over the word mess. So
mess. You broke the internet with that.
I get that. I'm just like, poor guy's trying to have fun with something he's doing. And
But that fun affects millions of people and what they're going to think. It's like if Chris Nolan was making Inception, and while he was making Inception, he tweeted out a video of Bane breaking Batman's back or something, and then expecting nobody to ask him about it for 2 years, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it would have been freaking great if Warner Brothers would have just, you know, held their card and didn't say anything about I know they probably couldn't, but it wouldn't have been great to find out, like, right now, hey, guess what? The director of Batman is Ben Affleck, and they're starting in 2 months. Now, it would have been a little less pressure on everybody.
It's out next week.
Yeah.
That's a little unprecedented, but it would have been a way better way of going about this thing.
I think in a situation like that, though, it's one of those things where he's such an accomplished, established director that the moment that he's a part of this whole universe and he's going to do a solo film, people are just going to say, "So you're directing it, right? You're going to do it's good. Yeah. This is good." You know, I don't know if
I'm guilty of that too.
Legitimacy to the whole project, but oh man, that's what I said at the top of the show. It's partially, you know, he has personal stuff going on. Live by Night may have affected this, you know, the pressure of that, and then like Batman, even more pressure. But you know, the fans, dude, freaking! I said this on the show 2 weeks ago. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah,
you know, not that was gonna.
No, and matter. I'm going back. Go back to his quote. Didn't he have a quote about making the Batman was going to be one of the hardest things that he ever does in his professional career because of things like this too? Like.
Yep.
Just think about that.
Yes, and think about this, guys, and Rick, speak to this a little bit, and I can too, I guess. You're following Chris Nolan, the first solo Batman film after Chris Nolan. That's pressure, whether you wanted it to be pressure or not, you know.
Right. It's huge pressure. I mean, it's not just that he's following him. He's looking back on Batman. I mean, look.
On Batman on film history, period.
It's not. Well, it's not a secret, or it's not a surprise to me that when he talks about directors and looking back on Batman on cinema, he basically refers to the only 4 films that are good anyway, and that, well, sorry, I know that there's somebody on the panel that disagrees with that a little bit, but that's okay. But Batman 89 and the Dark Knight trilogy, and those 4 films, he looks at those and I want my film to be on level with those films. He doesn't say Batman Forever. He doesn't reference, it's a very specific thing he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he wants this to be good. He wants it to be great.
So, I mean, what's the end game here? I guess, and we already said it pretty much. It's all boils down to Justice League in November.
When are we getting the next trailer for Justice League?
Wow. It should have already came out, so that makes me worried.
Yeah.
It makes me worried, quite frankly.
Well, we still don't have a Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
And they're coming out close-ish.
But
but in all fairness, Carrie Fisher just died too, and they're scrambling.
That's true. And they don't have, and Star Wars, they have the luxury of they don't have to do anything.
No, and they had to let Rogue One. I almost said
that's true.
They had to let it.
But see, Justice League they don't have to get people excited about Star Wars, but they have to turn things around for Justice League for sure.
I think that's crazy.
It's
episode. It's the 9th Star Wars movie, and they don't have to do anything. And here you have Batman, and Superman, and Aquaman, and it's weird. What the hell? How did that happen?
Yeah. Hello?
How did we get here? How did we get here that
Hello?
a film with Aquaman and Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and it together is...
And Cyborg.
No one gives a shit. I mean, yes.
Well, I can tell you how we got here.
Look,
we've been saying that for a year.
The Avengers.
Die-hard fans, yes, you guys, we love you. You give a shit. We give a shit as well. When I say that, you guys know what I mean. Mainstream audiences don't care about this. They don't care. If you went right now, if you just took any random packed theater in the U.S., put up a new Justice League trailer and put up a new Avengers trailer, I promise you the Avengers trailer will have a more emotional response from people.
Yes. Yeah, and I hate saying that, but it's true. It's
just true.
Guys, you know the reason.
And I don't like Marvel better than DC. By a mile.
But they put the cart before the horse. We've been saying that for a damn year now, and the whole foundation was bullshit. I mean, you tried to make a franchise out of Superman with Man of Steel, and then all of a sudden, here we got to inject Batman in it. Now let's go to Justice League as fast as we can. I think there was a bit of
They broke it down before they had even started to build.
There was a bit of arrogance there, thinking that we'll just go straight to Justice League. This is our way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And and then you know what? Things have changed at Warner Brothers, and no, I mean, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but you know, things are a lot different now there than they were when this all started a few years ago. So, I mean, it sucks. I go back to with Affleck not directing. It just sucks, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he'll end up doing the film, but I mean, what do you? I mean, let's finish up here. What do you think if let's say that Wonder Woman is okay to good to okay. I mean, but Justice League makes like nothing. It's like BVS. I mean, what the hell's going to happen next year with all these DC films? And that scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, Aquaman, that's it.
Yeah, Aquaman's coming. Period. So that's
Yeah, I feel like. Again, this might be me being the optimist.
Well, go. We need some optimism here, man.
Yeah, but
please,
it's not. But here's it's not blind. I want to make sure that it's not like my head's not in the sand.
Exactly.
I see the concerns because here's the thing. I want Justice League to be good. I'm hopeful for it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But the path getting there, I don't have any trust in it. I haven't seen anything except the trailer. Which the trailer. I'm not as pumped as I want to be, but I get that it was a Comic-Con thing, whatever. But I'm excited about the idea. So here's the thing.
Hey, and by the way, you on my end, you broke up. What did you say about the trailer? You don't mind repeating it?
Oh, I just said the trailer we got from Comic-Con. That made me. I got excited, but I'm not pumped. I'm not like, oh man, I can't wait to see this.
Okay.
I'm right now, it's a little bit like I'm trepidatious. Like, oh man, is this coming out? But here's what makes me hopeful is that they do seem to have some kind of an idea. And you alluded to it earlier, Ryan, like a lot of it's non-Batman, non-Superman, with, it sounds like they had a good meeting with The Rock, but now my eyes always like halfway open because, whatever Affleck said 3 weeks ago is out the door, whatever he said yesterday in his statement, like, is that Hollywood or is that truth? Man, I don't know. I want to try and trust because I like the quote. Like I told you guys yesterday, like this quote made me feel a little more like, okay, well, this really sucks. I'm not happy, but at least he's, he says he's going to star in it. He's still producing. He wants to work with a partner. I want to take the man at his word. I want to take the guy. He said this. I'm going to take him for his word, even though he's already said something before and broke that. But he's human.
I still am. I still will take his his word right now. I will, and I'm pulling for this film.
Why?
I mean, because
why?
Because we have to, bro.
This isn't a parameter of whether or not Ben Affleck's an honest person.
No, I know.
He has to do this because there's two multi-million-dollar films on the horizon.
I know that, Rick. I'm just still hoping. I'm hoping that this film gets made.
He can back out, though, Rick. I mean, that's the thing. He can.
He's not going to do that before these films come out, though. Even if he knows he's not doing it after Justice League, no matter what Justice League does, he's still not going to announce that.
We all agree on that. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I guess analyzing his intentions behind that, I think is futile.
I don't think that like it was. When I broke the story about it getting pushed back, and I kind of subtly threw out the scenarios, which caused a worldwide spread of meltdown and butthurt, and liar, son of a bitch, MFer, all that. You should see my Twitter. Of course, it's been very quiet the last 2 days on Twitter and so forth. But
it's time to spread some meltdown on your butthurt. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so what I want, what I'm trying to take us back to positive land. All right.
Yeah.
So pay attention. All right. Yeah. So then with the Green Lantern thing,
pay attention. I like the way he controlled that.
Yeah.
Pay attention. You know what that was? That was the dad in you. I love it.
That was the dad. Hey.
That was Daddy Justin.
Clean up those Legos, man, because I don't want to stand on. All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Green Lantern, the whole hey, it's going to be buddy cop, lethal weapon in space. That makes me excited. That sounds like a fun concept.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Gotham City Sirens, that part, I'm like, okay, if David Ayer thinks he has a good idea, I'm down to see these. I see that as a smaller deal. It's not a tent pole, but it's adding to the universe. Okay, I'm mildly interested in that. Aquaman's got me excited. Just today they announced they've got a guy for Black Manta.
Manta, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
cool.
hell yeah. Yeah.
There's still movement going on with the universe where I feel like.
Oh, really? I missed that. Black Manta's going to be in this too, and Ocean Master.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty Aquaman could be badass.
I think Aquaman's going to be badass. I mean,
let's just be Aquaman on film.
Yes.
No, but here's
I'm about to get that URL, so don't get me to it. Yeah.
Aquaman on film. But these things get me. These are the things that get me excited with bad news, and primarily I'm a Batman fan first. Yes. Which makes me by proxy a DC Comics fan, and I'm also I'm a nerd at heart. I love these things. I even love the other side of the fence, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to sit in that thing. Man, Affleck's not going to do it. That sucks because that's a huge blow to what this universe is.
Yeah.
I think he brings a lot of value, to the whole
huge.
idea.
Yeah, huge.
Right? I mean, that's bad, and I'm not going to hide and say that's bad. But on the flip side of it, I look forward to these other things and hope for the best on those deals. Yeah. But
Justin, real quick, it's not just Batman being the center of it. It is Ben Affleck being in that role. That's important,
100.
And it kind of sucks when we start talking about recasting, which we'll get to real quick, and then we'll get the hell out of here. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt, man.
No, I think that's really I just want to be, especially for I get really frustrated when I see the stuff online because I get protective of my tribe, and I know you guys don't hate the DC universe. No. I know you guys love Batman, but we also call it like it is. And this is what it is. And I'm not going to be a fool and say everything's great because this doesn't feel good. This is like your wife not bringing you in and out when you're coming home for work. Like,
or
that does not feel good.
But
your hands are still down.
But hey, Rick,
Whataburger.
Yeah, real quick, Rick. I mean, you made a great post last night on your Facebook Batman on Film page about this is not good. You can't sit here and say this is okay. Yeah, this is awesome. Everything is good. So, just real quick about that. What was your thoughts on that comment? Because I thought it was.
And I don't take it back, and I didn't delete it. I could have, and I'm not going to. So this is one of these weird things. I'm not going to delete it, and I'm really not going to apologize for it.
Don't
keep it in.
Yeah,
but hold on. Let me finish. Yeah. But I would probably have changed the tone a little bit if I could redo it. Right?
I don't know. Does
that make sense?
It wasn't very snarky.
And the reason I say that, and again, I could go delete it, but I'm not going to do that either. So
leave it in.
I'm carrying two thoughts in my head at the same time here.
I liked it,
but I am also trying to be sympathetic to the people that aren't just being blind, stubborn absolutists. Mm-hmm. That really are just like, oh, dude, you're killing me. Like, I just want to be positive about this. And to that person, and that's I have mad respect for that. And I don't want to be a jerk to that person.
Exactly.
And we can't
look
tell.
At me. You just called me out and said, "Why, Bill? Why?" And I said, "Because I want this movie to happen with Ben Affleck because I want to, and I have faith." So I understand that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's just I guess what happens in the written word and running a political site. I know this really well, although I think Batman on film is sometimes more contentious than politics. It's crazy. like I'm not kidding, by the way, at all. I think I got threatened to come kill me one time because I like the Star Wars prequels. I mean, this shit's weird.
What?
But yeah, I mean, I'm semi-hyperbolic here, but I mean, but anyway, but I don't want when it's the written word. There's no infliction, and you can't tell of that person when you read it. If you're pissed off, everything you read is pissing you off, and you look at it like, oh, that guy's being a dick, and you just want to like attack him or whatever. It's like, no, maybe that guy's like really just saying more like, come on, man, like, come on, guys, this is. Can we be positive here? Why do we have to be negative? And what we're hearing is, why do we got to be negative? What's going on? Like, DC rules. Well, maybe he's just saying, come on, man, like I just love DC, and maybe this is a good thing. And see the difference? It's like the same words. And you can't tell in writing.
Right.
And so I'm trying to get better at that as a person on social media, period, much less just on me. And so that's why I would have pulled back a little bit on that. But at the same time, I'm not going to delete it. So kind of wrap your head around that contradiction. But I just, at the end of the day, anybody that's out there that's just sincerely that just wants this to work, I love you for that. And you know what? And maybe, and listen, I had some text messages. I don't want to talk about private conversations. That's probably not appropriate, but there was a lot of like BOFers from days past and everything that I was on text messages with last night. Andy, for one, Mark, for that matter. And we was, again, private conversations, but I realized that in corresponding with some of these gentlemen that I was like, man, I'm more jaded than they are, like a little bit more cynical. And maybe it's, maybe it keeps me on edge. Maybe it's like what I need because I understand the reality of it better than they do. Or you know what? Maybe I don't. And maybe I need to just chill the F out. And maybe, I'm just trying to trying to find myself in this whole thing because it's frustrating. And Bill, I've told you this in private. I've told you this text on the phone. I've said to your wife, and we can't let the rabid fanboys bring us down.
Well, yeah, but no,
we can't.
And
from either side, and
exactly.
Right.
And it's just, I guess my point is, there's a bit of, and I apologize for putting it like this. There's a bit of like, really, to these people who go, oh, this is a good thing. This is awesome. And it's annoying as hell because
but see the way you just said that.
Yes, I know.
Maybe
I know
what they're saying is like maybe they're just going. This is a good thing. This is awesome.
No,
this.
that's not how they're doing it, Rick, and you know that. But
well, Bill, I know that, but if I say I know that, then I'm a pompous asshole.
I know,
I'm trying to.
But you are a pompous asshole. You are a pompous asshole, and that's why I love you. So, and so am I, actually. So thank you.
Literally, are a pompous.
But
that's why me and Ryan are.
God, if you love me, because this asshole.
But my point is,
I'm trying to work on that part of myself. When I improve that, are we not friends anymore?
No,
that's weird.
No, don't change,
Shit,
man.
It's part of the Shew charm.
Don't change it. But my point is, that's what BOF is all about. Is saying everything is not okay, and we should challenge the system. I mean, what the hell, the system, the whatever, hell. I'm like Rage Against the Machine, whatever.
But we don't have to be dicks about it.
No, we're not. But
I'm not saying we are, but
But I want to say that I know,
and I'm that's
okay.
me
right.
collectively here.
Yeah,
we could chill a little bit from time to time. I think.
No, Justin's been very nice the whole damn time.
It's just I'm very empathetic to people, man. And so even when I'm frustrated, I can see both sides of the fence. What I try to do be like,
that's the pastor in you, dude. And I mean that.
Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And just if we can all slow down and
pick up the pants.
We all pick up the pants. That's what we do. We tell you, here's the thing. We all want Ben Affleck to direct Batman. I think collectively, every side of the fence wants it. I think what we're trying to say is this is a bad situation, and we're allowed to say that, right?
Yes.
Just as they're allowed to say,
and we want things. Yeah,
I don't know.
We want it to be better. We want better films.
We want it to be better.
Period. That's the bottom line.
The flip side to my little diatribe just now is this.
Yes.
There are those individuals that are empirically not the rational, reasonable, trying to just they are just rabid, toxic absolutists, and they will not listen to anything that's not raw DC, right?
Yeah. But you know what?
You know what? I've seen that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rick. But the exact opposite for people who are like, the DC universe is over. I feel like we're. I don't think we're that far on. I think we're kind of like, hey, you know what? We're cautious. It could happen because here's the thing: if Affleck ducks out before November, it's done, man. That's a mess.
Yeah.
But there are people that are like, it's done. It sucks. Snyder sucks. All this sucks. There's that side of it too, and that's what I think is good about BOF is, like you say, call it like it is, and then if you want to talk and be constructive, be constructive with us.
Constructive,
yeah. And what have we been saying since? I mean, look here. Go back a year ago, from January till February, March.
We were pumped for BBS.
We were like a
I listened to those shows.
I was like, a shill. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you for that
Borderline,
film.
Yeah, we were so excited.
I'm sorry, but we were. But it does no good, and it goes back to the core of Batman on film is that you can't just say, okay, yeah, everything is awesome, everything keep going. You've got to stand up and demand better films. And I understand that there's guys on the Facebook page, Dusty on there that loved BVS and loves Suicide Squad, loved Man of Steel, which I like Man of Steel, so whatever. And it's hard for them to grasp that these are not films that are overall well regarded, and it sucks, man. As a fan, as a fan, it sucks when someone tells you what you love sucks, and it kind of does sometimes, and that it sucks. Look, the Cowboys were 4-12 last year. They sucked, and people said the Cowboys suck, and it pissed me off. But I knew they sucked, but I was still mad.
That's a great analogy.
But you can be constructive and tell them what we can do better next time.
Exactly.
Or how about the Dark Knight Rises sucks?
What? We're going to do a whole show on that.
Rick, I've never said the Dark Knight Rises sucks. I said I have problems with the Dark Knight Rises.
Rick, you trolled. That was Rick was trolling right there. Rick Shew troll. Anyway,
charm.
All right. So,
trolling? Like, what are we talking about? I was trying to like. Hey, and by the way, Justin, my issues with you in terms of Batman on film. Not when I say that, I don't mean as a team us. I mean like as Batman movies. Is you're a little misguided where The Dark Knight Rises is concerned, but I just, as your friend, and you have such a beautiful family and your wife and your boys, I want you to be healthy and happy I want you to live to be 120, dude. But you got to get over this Batman Returns things, man. It's not.
I can't wait to talk about.
There's not going to be any longevity where that's concerned.
I don't think you guys know what my issues are yet. I think we haven't.
I can't wait to talk.
Okay, Batman Returns.
I like Returns too, Rick.
I've got Rick. Not only is he like he's lurking around, apparently around Justin's Facebook page, but
notifications.
Anyway, okay. Look, let's wrap this up here.
Hey, Bill, let's wrap it up.
And
listen, Mark. I don't know if you want to edit this, but may I just make a suggestion? I think this would be a really fun show for you to reveal what villains we are. That's just my opinion.
Oh.
Dude, I don't have it in front of me.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's just to end it on.
Or Tom.
Okay, real quick. All right. Okay, all right.
Can I say a little bit of spiel before that too?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Well, so I'm trying to be constructive too, and
yes,
it's still January. Okay, we have all of 2017 to get through. It is the last day of January now. So we have 11 more months to get through. Now, we have a job to do as fans, and WB has a job to do as a studio. Okay, so there is an opportunity here for this to improve. It has to improve, okay?
Yes, please improve. Yes.
Yeah, we can do our part, and they can do theirs. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if Affleck's, he's down as director, he's still a producer on Justice League. Justice League, we can all agree, needs to be so good. It needs to be the best damn film of this thing.
It's got to be.
So if Affleck is serious about making the Batman as good as it can be, and that's delayed, he can spend some of this executive producer time making sure that Justice League is also going to be great. And before that, Wonder Woman, I feel, can be, if it's good, it can do a lot for the character and a lot for the DCEU. And there's a lot of positivity that can come out of Wonder Woman to lead right into Justice League. So there's a lot that Warner Brothers can do between now and then to change.
And clearly, Ben as a director is probably one of his strengths is in that editing booth. So, dude, get your ass in there and make a hell of a film that we all love and champion. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's, Rick, real quick, just your final thoughts on all this, and then plug something, dude.
My final thoughts are this: that my grade of Batman v Superman has gone from a flimsy B to like a C. I don't think it's going to sink below a C, but that film should have been a B plus, A minus.
Is it a weird C?
It's like a...
Yeah, all right. Come on.
Yeah, right. And so I'm looking at all this saying that, this can be fixed. This can be course corrected. This isn't in the gutter, right? If it was in the gutter, I would say burn the effing thing down and let's just start over. But with everything that I've...
You said that.
Right. With that said...
Okay.
Justice League has to work. If Justice League does not work, I think Affleck is out. I think he's completely out. And even if it does work, we're not going to get him as a director, and I think the film will probably suffer as a result. Now, here's the good news: we won't know that it'll suffer in terms of if they get a good director and it's a good film. Then you can't ever this hypothetical what if he would have been the director or not. But I just know that his talents as a director are phenomenal. It's unfortunate, and I really like him as Batman, Bruce Wayne, and want to see more of it. And I hope that Justice League is not the last time we see him, especially because I think Justice League is going to suck, and I don't want a shitty I don't want. No, I mean this. I'm saying this. I don't want a shitty film to be Ben Affleck's last Batman film.
That would
so,
suck.
Yeah, it would just suck, right? So there's that. So here's my plug. And again, I kind of walk a fine line about plugging politics and everything on this site because I don't want anybody. We're Batman fans, whatever your political things are. As long as you're not a racist or something, we can get along and we can just talk Batman. But as you guys, a lot of you do know, I do host a political site, and we launched our episode 7, The Liberal Awakens. No, I'm kidding, but it is episode 7.
Oh.
It's our Star Wars plug, and it's our it's our brand new podcast. I think this might be our best show, and it's a hard thing to say because we've had some really good shows, some great guests, Bill's wife included, for that matter. But this show, I think, just pound for pound, is great because there's a lot of different angles to it, and we're basically dissecting the first week of Donald Trump's presidency. I have GOP strategist Matt Makoviak. He is you see him often on like All In with Chris Hayes, Rachel Maddow, Fox and Friends, ABC with George Stephanopoulos, etc. He's a high-profile guy. We're very lucky to have him on. And then our friend of the show here, Zaki Hassan, who's a HuffPost film critic, journalist, professor, everything. He comes on and gives his opinions on particularly about the Muslim ban and the Syrian refugee stuff. As a Muslim American and as a father, it's actually it's really good. So you can check that out on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, the leftshewpolitics.com, Facebook page. It's all there. That's all I got.
All right, real quick, our Lego Batman party's coming.
So our Lego Batman party is coming, and that'll be on February 11th down in, say it, Bill.
Tomball, Texas.
Tomball. I always say it wrong, but it's outside of Houston. Now, I want to plug this real fast. So we're going to start shaking up these BOF parties.
Oh yeah,
Hell,
go ahead. Yeah.
We may have we may have a BOF party in LA next year. I mean, I think. I
hope
great.
so.
That would be great.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman's BOF party will actually be here in Dallas. It'll be in Plano, which is my house without traffic is 18 minutes north of downtown Dallas. So
go to
not
Rex.
far. Yeah, but it's in Plano at the Cinemark. Man, if you're in this area or can get to Dallas that weekend, let's do it. And we're gonna go have brunch at my bar that Sunday. And Ryan, Justin, so what excuses do you guys have for this? Or don't have, or whatever.
For not coming to Texas?
Yeah.
I live in California.
In June. But with, like a 6 months heads up.
In June. Gosh.
Okay,
you know what?
We'll discuss.
Hey, in all fairness, June in Texas, or at least in North Texas and Dallas, is miserable.
Well, no. It's not. June, early June is not nothing like July and August, so don't scare them.
Yeah, that's true, but it's still
all right. So, but anyway, we are having. I thought we hated the DCEU. We're having a Wonder Woman watch party, man. I mean, what's up with that? Anyway,
we hate the DC. We hate DC Comics. Period.
Yeah, man. I would. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna sincerely try to make it out to Texas for the Wonder Woman party. I think I can swing. I think I can swing that weekend if I could sleep on Rick's floor.
Rick.
Justin,
in the bar.
Listen, yes, I have. Stay here in my house, man. Absolutely, 100%.
Just don't watch me while I'm sleeping, man. If you're looking at my Facebook all the time.
I'm gonna do a live Justin snoring on my couch.
All right. All right.
You are more than welcome to stay.
And Rick, we are excited for the Wonder Woman thing too, and
yeah,
Lego Batman. I'm fired up. I got my shirt ready for that son of a gun, and it's awesome.
Good to go.
All right. Justin, go ahead, plug some stuff, and whatever.
Yeah, always trying to plug. Let's Go podcast. Have an offshoot that's coming. I think this week or next week is the Let's Go comic book show.
Let's Go comic show.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to get 3 in the bank before we put it out there. So there's like a few. And then, if you can check that out, if you can go on to YouTube and just search for Let's Go podcast. If you just like that and subscribe, we're trying to get to 100 so we can actually make it a destination point for some live things we want to do and stuff like that. That would be way awesome. There's been a lot of people that have subscribed, but still need to get to that 100-person subscriber mark. And then, and then on Twitter, J_Rocca or at Let's Go Cast. Hit me up there.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, Justin, how excited are you for Lego Batman movie?
Oh man, I'm like 15. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm getting Lego guys. Me and my kids are hunting little blind bags. It's fun.
That's gonna be awesome. You know what? And there's nothing worse than stepping on a piece of Lego barefoot on a floor. So
it sucks.
All right, Ryan, what you got, dude?
Follow me on Twitter at SMB_Ryan. There is a brand new episode of the Robin Everyone Loves the Drake podcast that I'm a part of that just came out a few weeks ago that I don't think we have talked about since our last podcast. And it is episode 49, and it is a New Year's show, and we talk a whole lot about 6 months worth of Rebirth. So there's lots of Rebirth talk if you have not been reading it, or if you have been reading it, want to know about some books you haven't been reading. And we also talk about the Victim Syndicate storyline from Detective Comics, which was really good. So check that out at the BatmanPodcastNetwork.com webpage, and you'll find Everyone Loves the Drake on there. And please leave this podcast iTunes reviews. That would be awesome. We got a new one a couple weeks ago, if you want me to read it real quick.
All right, go ahead.
It is Intellectual Batman Talk. It is a 4 and a 5-star review from Foti928. So thank you, Mr. 928. It says, Jett and the gang do a great job of speaking and debating intellectually about the character and his many forms in media. They don't always agree, nor do I always agree with them, but they state their cases in a way that makes sense and has you at least respect the other side's opinion. The only thing that prevents this from being a 5-star is the audio quality. Sometimes people are too soft, while others can be too loud, causing for constant adjustments to the volume. But other than that minor complaint, any Bat fan should subscribe to this podcast.
Well, I will work on that the best I can. All right.
There you go.
And what's your anticipation level for Lego Batman movie, Ryan?
11 Lego bricks out of 10.
All right.
Oh, hey.
All right.
I'm excited.
Rick, you got your Lego Batman shirt yet, dude?
Not yet, but I'll have it before I get there, and I'll also have seen the Lego movie before I get there.
Ooh.
All
nice.
right, awesome. So it's going to be a good time when we get to that party, and looking forward to seeing Rick and whoever else shows up. So for the BF Roundtablers and Rick Shew, I am Bill, Jett Ramey, and announcer Rachel will take us out, and we will catch you next time.
Hey now! You've been listening to the Batman on Film podcast, a proud member and the sponsor of the Batman Podcast Network, BatmanPodcastNetwork.com. You can listen to the BOF podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, and wherever good podcasts like this one can be found. Want to advertise on the BOF podcast? Go to advertisecast.com/the Batman on Film Con podcast. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film and on BOF's Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Jett.BatmanOnFilm. Email Jett via Jett@batman-on-film.com. Follow Rick on Twitter at ShewRick and on Facebook at facebook.com/BOF-Shew. For Jett, Rick, Justin, and Ryan, I'm announcer Rachel. Thanks for listening.
Deep within the bowels of the city, a solitary, dark-clad figure sits nestled in the shadows of a vast, sprawling cavern. Here, the most modern scientific equipment looms beside the most ancient tools of the murderous art, and countless unique trophies stand in mute testimony to the ability of one man. It is a cavern filled to bursting with the stuff of legend, the untold legend of the Batman!